Good afternoon and welcome to another installment of Duran's Demos. Folks, our 2.5 minutes of fall is over and we are crashing hard into winter, so now's a great time to talk about down jackets. Why down, you ask? Excellent question. Down has the warmth to weight ratio for something that can pack small, is really light on your body, especially when we have a bunch of layers stacked underneath it, which is always a good idea, especially if we're going outside. Down remains kind of the go-to option for something that is still going to be very warm, but still very lightweight and very compressible for travel or any kind of outdoor excursion. There are some synthetic options. Patagonia has an awesome one that are starting to nip at the heels of the down and kind of offers similar weight and compressibility, and we'll get into those at a later video, but for right now, down remains our go-to. Now when we're talking about down, one $10 word that gets thrown around is fill power. Fill power is really basically just an expression of how compressible is the down. If I take a 1-inch pinch of a 600 fill power down, which is where most things start, right around 600 is good for kind of outdoor, lightweight, what have you. And I compare that to a 1 ounce pinch of an 800 fill power down. That 600 fill is going to expand out pretty good. It's going to be able to trap a lot of warm air, but that 800 fill power down is going to expand out just a little bit better. And that difference is really going to explode when we put enough of it into a jacket to fill one out, especially if we're trying to build a sleeping bag. Let's not talk about sleeping bags though, jackets. So this is an 800 fill power down sweater from Patagonia. Just to kind of get into it, we have something that's really, really light, really, really thin, highly compressible, and it feels like I'm just wearing a cloud of warm air right now down here at the store. We have something that checks a lot of boxes for us, but why do they call it the down sweater? Isn't it a jacket? Yes, it is, and I could probably wear this being native to South Dakota, being native to the Black Hills. I could wear this for most of the year pretty comfortably, especially if I put a couple of layers underneath it. I can go through fall comfortably, and I can get through a lot of days of winter. Maybe if I came from Jacksonville, Florida, it'd be a different story, but for people here in the Midwest, this is going to be a good 4-season piece. But it's not going to get us through the worst days of winter, and it's certainly not going to get us through that kind of like early January or mid-February stretch when it's not only cold, but it's also quite windy and quite harsh. For that, we switch to Jill here, who's wearing the High Loft down hoodie. She's out today taking her pygmy moose for a walk, and she is actually sporting a 600 fill power coat. Now on the surface or at face value, that shouldn't be as warm as my 800 fill power, but you know what? They're using gobs of it. They have these thicker baffles, these bigger channels for trapping warm air. They've worked in a little bit more butt coverage, and they have a higher collar with it, not to mention the hood, so you can really tuck out of the elements in this. And for just a few more dollars than my 800 fill power sweater, and just a few more ounces and a few more cubic inches of space, you end up with something that is noticeably warmer. But Duran, you say, I'm tired of you selling me these half measures. It's cold out there. I want the warmest coat I can get away with. Okay, heard, understood, and acknowledged. Here is the Fitzroy Parka, also from our friends at Patagonia. We have switched back to an 800 fill power down, and we are using a mountain of it. It has these really thick, blocky baffles. It has another layer of nylon on the inside, so a really, really cold wind isn't going to shove its way through these baffles and kind of fill the jacket with warm air. It's going to stop against that layer. It has the really high collar. It has a really puffy hood. It has a really long, spacious cut. If I am belaying a partner on an ice climb and I'm just standing there in the shivering cold, this is going to keep me warm. If I'm going out on a really, really like backcountry, middle of winter excursion, this is gonna keep me warm. This is the like no holds barred, spare no expense option, because it's also the priciest of the three. So as you can see, we got a lot of great places to go for down jackets. In addition to the three that we talked about from Patagonia, we do have options from Indigena and Outdoor Research. We can make them a little bit dressier if you prefer, or a little bit more minimalist. So as with everything else, stop into the store for a longer conversation. Okay, stay warm out there.